Hi, we're Bad Sounds. Thanks for watching Music News.
Bad Sounds, great to see you. How you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Cheers.
Are you high? How's it going?
Yeah, really, really good.
Just did the Scala dates, Thursday, Friday?
Thursday, yeah. Scala, it was our biggest headline show to date.
Yeah.
And we had sort of more production than we've ever had in the past. It's a big deal for us that we always try and put on a show.
Yeah,
so it's the first time that we've been able to properly put on a production. We had giant versions of mine and Ewan's heads either side of the stage, and and a big curtain reveal thing. It was very over the top, but it was
I
good
saw
fun.
a few pictures. It did look pretty good.
Did my first crowd surf.
Yeah, that was strong.
All going well. But congratulations you made the shortlist, MTV Brand New for 2018. How did you feel when you first found out?
Yeah, shocked.
Really shocked.
I think, especially for us, because our videos have always been something so DIY and I don't know, just kind of stupid ideas. We never really thought it would be shown on MTV, let alone a shortlist or anything.
Yeah, no, but it's those videos and those ideas that you say sort of stupid ideas, but a lot of people might actually go into a studio and there's loads of meetings and come out with the same thing and think, that's an idea, that's what people want.
Yeah, maybe. There would be a waste of time, those meetings. I don't know. I think that's kind of, it works for us the way we want to do that, and it feels natural to us. So it's just nice that other people like that. Do you know what I mean? I think every time we put something out, we've just been well, if we like it, it's good enough, and we'll see what other people think.
What's behind the Are You High video then? What was the idea there?
Well, I think it was we wanted to show a little bit of what the live show's like with all the balloons and confetti and everything kind of falling on us.
Yeah.
So we wanted a bit of that, but then I think a big thing for us has always been styling, and Cal does all the artwork and stuff, and making sure we have a cohesive look across the video.
Yeah.
So all those backgrounds and things like that, those were more the key ideas for us originally, how it would look and how it would feel, and as long as it felt right to the track, that was more what we were thinking about.
Yeah. And then we could just get stuff across in our performance rather than, I think sometimes that you can put a lot into a storyboard and it's sort of reliant on the story of the video, whereas we were just it's about just the relationship of the band and just having fun, which is I guess the vibe of the track as well. So.
Yeah, and I guess when you start to overthink things, that's probably when they go wrong. So it's just you're
definitely with us.
Yeah.
But I mean, MTV Once Watch has been a massive springboard for a lot of bands. What do you think they've seen in you, the judges, that picked you out?
I don't know.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
I think they picked the wrong name, maybe alphabetical order. No, I don't know. I think I'd like to think the DIY element is something people find endearing in it. So hopefully that. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? I feel if you knew what people were gonna like about things you did, then you'd have
everyone
the key.
would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure our management just bribed someone.
That's all else fails. But who are the biggest rivals on the list, do you think?
Everybody else but us. We were saying we feel when your cooler older brother lets you go to a party with his friends and you shouldn't really be there, but you're the young dweeby kid. We kind of feel like that on the list. So I'd say everyone.
I'm not so. Yeah, I guess I'm not really into competing with other bands in general. So it's just
Yeah, no, it's all.
Yeah.
There's a real sort of bright, sparkly edge to the music. How do you sort of sum it up, your style?
We just describe it as our music taste, just all meshed into one thing. And we take it from a kind of hip hop sampling sort of idea based, sort of taking your favorite part of a track. You may not love the whole track, but you like those 3 seconds, so you build a track around that. And we sort of do that with genres and eras as well. So, we might not like everything about a country record or whatever, but there might be a really cool string section, and we just let's do something like that in our track.
Yeah.
And then once you do that from enough things, you sort of build up something that becomes one of our tracks, and then put some moody lyrics over the top, and you're done.
Is that how it always comes together?
I think so. before we were doing this, I was just more doing like hip hop stuff, and it was just all sample based. So I think we always think about things in terms of like little loops and like more short sounds rather than trying to write it conventionally, like with a guitar. Although sometimes we do that too, but yeah, I think it's more about, like Cal said, just taking elements from things we like and then trying to fuse them together, which I think is kind of why people struggle to know what genre to put us in, because there's all these little hints of other things. But yeah, I don't know, that's just what we find exciting about it.
Right. How did you end up on the name Bad Sounds?
It's like the worst story of all time. We need to start making up like fake stories with robberies and stuff.
Yeah.
No, so we basically, one of the first demos we wrote that we really liked, it was cool, but it just had really like rubbish sounds on. It just had like a really old, cheap keyboard and like stupid drum machine and stuff. And so we just labeled that as like Bad Sounds, as in we were going to go back and change it all. But then when we were looking for a name later on, we were going through stuff and had every bad band name under the sun on like a list.
It's terrible. Like when you think Bad Sounds is the best name that we could come up with, you get an idea of how bad the other names were.
It is a good name. I like the Twitter account, like Real Bad Sounds.
It was real bad.
Yeah, so then we just went back to that one and it just sort of felt right.
Yeah, no, that certainly is working. I mean, how did you get together? How did it all sort of start?
Well, me and Cal brothers. So we were doing stuff when we were kids. But then Cal moved to London for a bit and then to Bristol, and I was still at home. And when Cal moved to London, he got more into like recording and kind of, I wouldn't say like pop music, but more like Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, that kind of stuff, and learning how to record things. And like I said, I got more into hip hop and trip hop and kind of stuff around the Bristol scene a bit more.
Yeah.
And so everything I was doing was sample based. And then when Cal moved back, we kind of just showed each other what we'd learned. So like, I was treating Callum like a sample, like getting him to play stuff, and I'm being like, nah. And then like, yeah, that's cool, let's loop that up. But then the stuff Cal learned in recording was really like helped us replay some of those samples and make them sound like the sort of 60s drum beats we were trying to like replicate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think we just kind of like taught each other what we'd learned separately.
Yeah.
But then we always had that connection as brothers anyway, so.
Clearly, yeah, it's natural. What's next on the release schedule?
Well, well, we're hoping to release an album. Like we're working on it right now, but it's very important to us. Like our previous release, Mixtape 1, it was 3 songs and they were tied together with skits and sort of interludes and things like that. And it was really important to us that it flowed as one thing, and that each song went into the next one. It was almost like a DJ set that just flowed. So we've got a heart set on doing that with an album as well.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be the next 10 or 12 songs we write. It will be a whole batch of songs, and then we'll pick the songs that fit best and sort of flow well together and sort of work as one cohesive piece. Because I feel like debut albums they're a big deal. You only get to make one once, and we really want to make ours sort of worth listening to in 10, 20 years time as well.
Of course, yeah, definitely. But who are your heroes in music then? Who do you look to?
I'd say like my biggest heroes are like Missy Elliott, Curtis Mayfield, and Sly Stone, and Dust Brothers as well. Do you know those like production duo?
Yeah.
Massive fans of those guys. I don't know, yours would be that.
Yeah,
one.
I mean, mine would be like Marvin Gaye, Flaming Lips, Beck. But I guess people that Beck and the Beastie Boys both worked with the Dust Brothers, and I feel like that sort of getting into the Dust Brothers is really what made us sort of decide how to make a sound like Bad Sounds, and the way they work and stuff. So I feel like the Dust Brothers is the one that we both definitely agree on.
Yeah. Great stuff. Away from music, what do you like getting up to then? How do you relax?
I don't really know. I just feel like it's so focused on music. To be honest, it's weird how you start to separate it almost sometimes, where we'll be writing stuff for Bad Sounds in the day, and then it's sort of, you feel like you've had a whole day of music. But then sometimes I go home after, and then I spend the evening doing it as well, but it's for something else, if you know what I mean. Just for sort of, you might learn guitar things, or just trying to learn more about the craft. You know what I mean. So I'd say we're both pretty absorbed in that right now.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but we do live and breathe music. There is nothing else for us, to be honest. Which sounds really two-dimensional. Now that I say it out loud.
Absolutely
but
not.
No, just is the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the musical ambitions? What are you striving to achieve?
It's never really worked for us when we've sort of put a goal in place and just gone, that's what we're doing. It's always worked out much better for us when we've just done what we feel is right at the time, and then it's just taking us like to a certain place.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really know how to answer that question. Obviously, we just want to keep doing it and for people to like what we do. But I guess it goes back to what I was saying about the album, in the sense that I want us to be relevant in 10, 20 years' time, and not just a hype thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And 2018, what can we expect? An album? More
Yeah,
touring?
I think definitely both of those things. But we're kind of unsure about the shape of it right now. I think we're still we were so focused on just tying up the loose ends this year, but then we definitely have things we want to achieve next year in terms of, like you said, an album and touring, but we just want to make sure it feels right and at the right times. So we're kind of working out plans for that right now, aren't we?
But definitely more goofy videos.
And how does the rest of the sort of band setup work then?
Well, I live with two of the other guys, and then Charlie's from Bristol. But yeah, so they're just we're still really close friends, and we play together. Like, obviously the writing and recording is me and Callum, but then when it comes into the live setup, it is kind of more open for discussion in terms of how we translate those songs for live and how everything comes across. And one thing we've always wanted is that they are, because they're close friends and they sort of feel very involved in it, they are part of the band, if you know what I mean. We never wanted to do like us with 3 session musicians or anything. But yeah, they're just like that. I mean, I wouldn't really know what else to say.
No, we just got off a 2-week tour all together, and I love them, but I'm happy to not see them for a couple of days, you know. But no, there's nothing better than playing music that you really vibe off of with 4 of your best friends on stage with you as well. So
I'm sure, yeah. Well, I'm sure there'll be more of that next year. Thanks a lot for your time. It's been great.
Pleasure.
For somebody that hasn't got into bad sounds yet, what videos would you say? Look, check these ones out. These really sum us up as a band.
Wages, I'd say, and Are You High feels pretty solid.
Yeah, Are You High is a good place to start.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Anything else
for
to say
having
to music viewers out there? Music news viewers?
You alright?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks a lot.
No,
Cheers.
thanks very much.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.